Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Springheel Speed Build. When last we were mapping, I had gone in and checked out the map using the game engine just to check out the lighting. Found that there was a few things that needed to be adjusted. Some of these lights, it turns out, are hanging awfully low, like this one, which is almost touching these crates. So there's going to have to be some adjustments in here, but I noticed that my time, I was up to a little bit over an hour, and that's a bit of a problem because there's a lot left to do. So I think what I'm going to do is leave this area for now. It's not too bad. Before we start adding any decorative stuff or playing around too much with the lighting, I think we're going to move on to some of the other areas and see how much we can accomplish there, because again, I want to get the most stuff done, the most important areas done, before I start moving on to details that could be left out if I run out of time. So with that said, we are going to move into this area here. So this is the area where the player is going to enter. This is their gateway to the living quarters of the gang. So over here, I'm going to need an extra door. So I'm going to have to make this I'm going to have to ungroup it, and I'm going to make this a door model. And this will be the access point to the interior. Now this is going to be a tricky part, because we're going to be transitioning here from one module set, the stone industrial module set, to the interior module set. Those sets were not built to go together, so I'm not 100% sure they will go together. They certainly won't merge real well at these doors, so we may have to do a little bit of futzing around and adjusting to make things work. So let me first of all make a new layer, and we'll call this living quarters, because I would like to be able to hide a lot of the warehouse when it comes to it. And we are going to, let's see, whoops, I forget how to make this the default except by hiding all the other stuff. So now that's got a star, everything we place will be put on this layer. So let's go and start with some prefabs. Now I'm already have the interior ones selected, and I have sketched out in a little bit more detail now what I want to accomplish for this interior area. It's going to be limited to a couple different rooms. We're going to start with a hallway here. So let's get this, and I want to line this up so that the doors can meet. That is going to be the trickiest part of the whole thing. So put this on the same level, and where is the door? It's right there. So let's see, I don't know if these modules are even the same width. This could be interesting. Yeah, that lines up exactly with the middle there. How do we do on the other side? Oh, you know what? They are the same width. Oh, good. I think I did keep a consistent width for most of the interior stuff. Still is not going to be super easy to do, because I don't know if the doorways are the same height. That's something I didn't think about. Well, we'll somehow manage. Let's worry about the connection there later, and we'll get all of the basics here. So I want to have 2 rooms down here, and let's get them first, and just small little 2x2 rooms. So 2x2 rooms with an alcove. That's interesting. Well, no, let's just stick with this. Okay, and we'll line these up. Oh, let's get them so they're on the same level. And we want them to line up exactly with these, something like this, because again, you want doorways to line up. We'll clone that and put that down here. And again, we want these to line up. These interior modules were designed so that there would be space in between like this, so that you can put brushes, which is something we have not done yet. Okay, so that's good. Let's put some doors in here, I guess. We'll get the doors in now. How should we do this? Do we want the doors close to each other, or do we want them far apart? We might even have a door going through here. I like the idea of AI patrolling down this hall in a circle, and so the player can maybe scoot through and get around that way, in which case we want the doors fairly far apart. So let's start with this. We will ungroup it. We're going to take this corner here and we're going to change this to a empty door model. Corner door left. Corner door left empty. I think we'll do corner door left. It's got the door frame in there. Good. So that puts the door where we want, and it has not moved anything, which is good. So let's... Okay, so now we have to... Oh, we've got to ungroup this hallway. So we're going to take this piece and turn this into a door, and it should just match up. So we want door empty, no frame, because we have a frame from the other piece. And if they're close enough, that frame should stick out. It does. Good. Okay. And so they merge very, very nicely. Now, let's take... We have our concrete floor brush here. Let's add a new floor brush over here for now that we will make, yeah, just wood. We can change it later. I'm not going to keep this wallpaper. We're going to use a skin here because this looks a little bit too upscale for a thug's hideout. And now let's do the same thing down here. Let's just keep the pieces exactly the same so that it's easy. Ungroup. Click that. Grab the model spawn arg. Click here. Check mark. Click this. Grab the model spawn arg. Click this. Check mark. Alright, 2 doors. 2 doors, no waiting. Alright, so there's our 2 rooms. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Now, I don't want to have, as I said, this is going to be a small area, but I want to have an upstairs. I debated about whether to do that, because adding stairs does add more time to your build. But I also think maps really benefit from having different levels, different heights of things, and I have not really done that very much anywhere else, so I thought I should probably do it here. So we're going to put a hallway going this way, and we're not going to line it up just yet because we are going to put a corner here. Corner. And rotate it so it goes like this. Oh, also, can we just floor that one since it's an individual piece? That's good. And make sure it matches. Doesn't look like it's snapped. Good. Snap to grid. There we go. Okay, so this hallway has to move a little bit. That's why I wanted to put that piece in there so we can line it up perfectly. We're also going to need a corner piece here to close that gap. And that is a corner, obtuse corner, yes, obtuse corner. She'll bring down here. One thing about these corners that I did, this interior set was the very first module set I made, and I built them so that you could, in a 2x2 square, put the origin in the center and just swap out any model for any other model and it would line up exactly. The side effect of that is that some of these small pieces have origins way far away, which is, as I discovered later, kind of annoying, or can be annoying. Dark Radiant doesn't care, but for example, if this was the end of the hallway, you could have this floating in the void, and it's so far away you wouldn't think that that was the problem. But you live and learn. Okay, oh, that is not lined up. Let's get that up here. Good. Okay, so there's our corner. All right, now we are going to have a upper floor here. We're going to have to get rid of our, we put this here for our box so that we could demap to test the lighting in the warehouse. Let's get rid of that. Actually, no, let's not get rid of that. Let's just hide that layer. Okay, we don't need that layer for now. Okay, so let's look for some stairs. Now we can't use the industrial stairs. I don't think those would look right. Stairs, stairs, steps and stairs. Movable stairs, no. Concrete, no. Exterior stone, no. Industrial, no. This is one I used in a different map that I had made. The Reputation to Uphold map. How tall is this? Not really tall enough. That leaves an awfully big gap. We could use that if we have to, but is there anything else? Concrete, that's not going to work. Open, looks more like an outdoor thing, but we could maybe do that. Yeah, it looks like carpet. Stone, no. Stone carpet. Wooden stone. Wooden two-tone. Wooden two-tone railings. I don't know what these are. Oh, that looks pretty promising. Oh, this looks like just a longer version of the one I used in the other map. I don't know if I made this one too. Oh yeah, I did. No, this was the one that would have come from the basement. Okay, well that's good. Okay, so that will fit. That'll get us right up to the next level. So let's use it. So we have to, yeah, that'll fit in really well. Now this is not a model. This was made with brushes and well, I think just brushes. So it's a little rougher looking than some of the other stuff, but I think it will work fine. Let's see, what do we have to do now? We have to put another level up here. So let's take our hallway, copy it, and move it up. And we can set it right on top. That does not leave a whole lot of room for the floor though, so I think what we'll do is we'll put it about, I don't know, leave two spaces for the floor. I know that's not a lot. Let's see, but again, as I've said before, when it comes to floors and ceilings, I have a hard time getting too worked up about those, especially in a speed build. So what if we did this, and what if we flipped this around so it was facing the right way? Go over here in the corner, and how does that look? Wow, those stairs fit almost perfectly. So let's grab this. Let's grab our floor here. Let's hide everything else. And yeah, we can have this go up so that it matches just perfectly like that. And if we go down here, that the bottom step's going to be cut off a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that if you're not. Sure, let's do it. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, so how does that look? Not bad at all. I can live with that. All right, let's take then this floor brush and let's, oh, you know what? I think I want to have one of these down here as well. Let's have two sets of stairs. Before we do anything else, let's copy the hall, let's copy the floor, let's copy the hall underneath, clone it, and let's do this so that we don't accidentally move it. Shift it down here somewhere, and then we'll just do the same thing we did here. Let's copy this, move it down, rotate it. Because the origin didn't move, we know this will snap now, or at least it should. Oh no, the origin did move. Snap. Okay, there we go. And that then will tell us where to position these things. Let's go over here so we can see. Let's move the top and bottom floor at the same time. And come on. Oh, we've got, let's go back to free move, and there we go. Snapped. Okay, let's grab our obtuse corner, copy that, bring that around here. And just snap it just in case. Yeah, see, when you rotate, I guess it does get a little off grid. All right, and then we have 2 stairwells. Shift that over. Okay, well, that seems pretty good already. It didn't take very long. We have enough room there, although just for the heck of it, I think I will move those 2 things back. So grab that, and we're just going to slide them over a little bit, just so that there's enough room. Okay, that should be good. Now, we don't actually need a whole other hallway that goes back there, so we will chop that off at some point. But I don't want to do that yet. Let's put a roof or ceiling on here. Actually, wait. Let's just copy this one so we have the same size and the same height already picked. Rotate this, go back to free move, and I don't mind if it overlaps a little bit. Go over here. There's an edge we'll have to deal with. The good news is we're not doing an exterior that has to match up, so it doesn't matter if the brush sticks out a little bit. And then we'll just clone that, move it over here, and move that over so it covers those 2 rooms. Bring it over so that it doesn't overlap there, although if there were Z fighting in the middle, wouldn't really matter. I don't think these hallways actually go far enough back. So let's make them go a little bit further. A little out, a little out. Okay. Now, one thing, this is something you have to check, is that when the player and AI are going up here, will they have enough room? Oh, you know what? This does not look like this meets exactly what's going on here. We don't want to have any gaps. Something didn't get moved. I forgot to... Oh, what's going on here? Is this stuff not grid snapped? Well, they both... Oh, man, okay, well, you know what? I don't like working on a grid of 1. I'm not sure why I have to work on a grid of 1. Oh, the bottom one didn't get moved over, that's why. So it's not a grid of 1. I can stay on a grid of 2. I just didn't move the bottom for some reason when I moved the top. No problems. Is that the same thing on the other side? Doesn't look like it. Nope. Okay, other side's fine. So back over here. Okay, so as I was saying, you want to make sure that there's room for the player to get under this floor piece we've put up here without banging their head. So I'm thinking that maybe instead of having it come out there, just to make this easy on us, why don't we have it end right there? And so we'll put a piece across there, and that will be fine. It also means we'll have to double up this piece, though. I think... Yeah, well, I don't know. This may not be architecturally sound, but again, speed build. Okay, do those line up? No, let's make sure they do. Move over. And we'll have to fill that gap in, that's no problem. We've got models for that, and I guess what we'll do is just put an extra wall. Oh, I can't select that wall because where is a individual wall I can select? How about the one underneath? Select, shift up. I'll copy first, then shift up, I'll put it on top of that brush, and that wasn't exactly where I wanted it. How about this? I want this to go across so that it will block off this little spot up here. So I want it to merge up with that, or match up with that. Grid snap. There. Now, these do not actually meet perfectly, but I don't care. This is something the players... It's going to be in shadow. It's going to be when the player's coming downstairs. I don't think any players are going to notice or care that that's not perfect. And we will do exactly the same thing over here. So we will slide this over to about there. We're going to put a beam across or something to hide that edge. We will take, we're going to take a corner piece, copy it, move it up, put it on top of here, make sure it snaps to there, nope, there, and we want this piece, we want another wall piece to come up. I never know whether it's easier to go hunting for something or just to grab a new model. Okay, and then we'll hide everything but that, line it up with that, and there we go. Okay, so done on both sides. We'll put a little gap around there later once we get everything sort of in the main geometry built. Okay, so this is our bottom floor now done. So, top floor. Okay, so we have this hallway going down here. I think a nice thin hallway like that is a nice challenge. How far do I want to go over? I know I want this to curve and I want there to be a hallway up here. I just don't know whether I want it to be... No, actually I do know what I want it to be. So we're going to take this, we're going to ungroup it, and I'm going to delete these two. In fact, I'm going to delete this one as well. And we're going to turn this into a corner piece. Corner. And make sure it still fits. Oh yeah, it should when you change the model. And this is going to be a corner in the hall. Now we're going to take... let's copy this one before we ungroup it. Copy it, rotate it, and let's move it down here so it fits. I'm going to attach it to this one. There we go. And that looks perfect to me. And then we can take this, we can ungroup it, we can delete this and this and this. It doesn't look like it deleted because there's a second layer down there, but we will change that eventually. Rotate, grid snap, and there we go. So what do we got here? We have a, oh, why do I see a gap? These little gaps are frustrating. Oh, because the top layer and the bottom layer don't line up exactly. I hope that's not going to cause any problems. So if we line up that like that, do we run into problems down here? Let's just see what's going on with this one. So the top, it's easier actually to move the top than it is to shift all the other sides. So let's just move this one. Oh, but it's got to meet that corner. Does that... Well, that corner doesn't have to meet there. Okay. So curious. They seem like they are in the same spot. Well, we do have some tricks to hide that if we have to. But let's see what we've got here. So this now lines up. This does not line up. And if we move that, then this whole upper level does not line up. But then this doesn't line up anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. So we'll just shift that over one. So that now it does line up. I have a feeling that might have been the wrong solution. These are the little things that do kill time. Let's see. Well, this all does seem like it lines up now. Let's get our obtuse corners in there so that we can make sure that they're going to fit. think if I was doing this again, I would put the upper floor on its own layer because this is going to get a little annoying. Where are the pieces I want to snap to? These ones. So let's get that in there and see whether it fits. It does. Okay, good. Then I guess we are in the right spot. And we'll need one of those for down here. And again, let's grab the things we want to snap and let's make sure it works here. Does it? No, it does not. Well, let's grid snap it first, and then we will force it to. So this whole row has to move over, but it doesn't matter that much because this doesn't have to line up at the end. Now, is it going to look weird though if, well, there's going to be a floor in between, so I don't think you're going to notice if the pillars don't line up exactly from one floor to the next, because there will be something in there kind of blocking your view. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. If things don't line up perfectly in a speed build, again, we kind of have to aim for good enough here. Okay, so here's our top floor. So what I want to do is have the same basic thing that I've got going down here. I want to have 2 rooms that are going to be storerooms. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these rooms together again, now that they have a door on them, so that I can put them upstairs and just rotate them. In fact, I only have to really group one. So I'm going to group that, copy, move it up onto the floor, and rotate so that the door is now facing that way. Oops. Okay, and I think that will do. And then copy. I'm going to move the same thing over here. And do I have it right on top? I do. I don't know if that actually matters. Maybe I'll shift it over just a bit so that it lines up more with that hallway. And now when we go upstairs, we have 2 rooms that go out into this hall. This hall needs a floor. Select that so that the next thing we draw is the same width and the same texture, and we'll just put this in like this. Now I know it's not a very appealing texture. We will fix it at some point. But for now, I just want there to be something there. And these rooms should have a floor, yes. So let's select the floor, hide everything else. I want to make sure these 2 things don't overlap. Why are we on such a fine grid at the moment? Oh, grid of 2 is not exactly where I like to be, but we'll stay there for the time being. And now we just have to ungroup this, turn this to an empty door, do the same thing over here, empty door, and now we have our 4 rooms. However, we need one more. These stairs are going to be steep. I bet the AI are going to look a little silly walking up and down them, but oh well. Speed build. I do want this to be the sort of the final room, the bedroom, the main location of the mission, the place for the final objective. So let's put the door right in the middle of these other doors. So here we will use, well actually hold on. Let's put the room that's going to be in behind here first. I want this to be a little bit bigger, and we can put some windows in here because this will be on an outside wall. So let's go to interiors and not hall, 3x3, 3x3 with an alcove, which could have a little window with 2 alcoves. What if we did that? Or is that too big? I don't know. Let's put it in and see. What if we did a room like that? Oh, no, I don't want to do that because I have a specific thing in mind for one wall. So let's not do that. we'll use the one that has only one alcove. The alcove just gives it a little bit of interest, again, a little bit of a place maybe for the player to hide. We can do something like this. And we can even put a window in that alcove. So let's do that. And move it down. And put it on the floor. Good. Okay, and we are still lined up. Good. Done. So that means we can make this a door model. Door empty. Do we have a door empty with a frame? Door, then window. We must have. Oh, door. Oh yeah. Okay. Door empty means no frame. Not that it has. Or sorry, yeah. Door empty means no frame. Door means frame, but no actual door. I guess I don't have a module that has fake doors. Okay, so then on the other side, we want to have, oh, we have to ungroup this, select this, and here's where we go back to our door empty. Okay, so now we have our doorways. Let's just extend this so that we have a floor. And I think I want to make this a window. So let's have dead end window. We could make it a little bigger, or there is a recess window. Maybe recess window is enough for this room. And here's where we're going to do something interesting. This is where the hidden safe is going to be. So we're going to here use a window. No, not window empty. I think I made just an empty. Yes. An empty. And what this does is it has the corner pieces here so that it matches. But what you can do is then put a brush in behind here with the texture of your choice, so that if you want to have something like a hidden safe or a place for the player to climb through or something, you can do that. So I'm going to be putting something like that on the other side, and we will line that up later. Alrighty, so this is it. That's all we're going to do. I might throw a fake door somewhere just to give the illusion that there are more locations in here if it feels a little bit too cramped. But that's basically it. Now we can go ahead and fill in some of these areas here and figure out what's going to go there. And then we'll have to do a little bit of decorating. But in terms of creating a pretty quick area, oh, we want to block off behind those stairs too. Why don't we do that now? We'll make this a group, and this is the bottom floor. We'll get rid of those, and we'll make that ungrouped, and we'll get rid of those. And let's go down to that floor so that we're careful not to delete something we actually need. And then we'll delete these two because we don't need them. And now I don't really know how I want to block off behind the stairs. I guess the easiest thing to do might just be to put a wall going across, as long as it doesn't actually clip into the room beside it. Will anyone know or care that it... Nope. So that will be fine. And do the same thing on the other side. In fact, even doing this probably is more work than I really needed to do, since again I highly doubt the player will even be able to see into this area, let alone, well, they certainly won't be able to get into this area. They probably won't even see it. Okay, so I said I did not want to leave these with this sort of well-off wallpaper. We're going to make this look more like a thug's hideout and go with either old plaster or old boards. I think we will use old boards for the majority of it. Maybe something special like the thugs, the captain or whatever he's going to be, his room. We might use old plaster from that just to set it apart, but I think for the majority of the areas they are going to be wood. Maybe it would have been a good idea to do this earlier, and then when I copied and cloned all these, they already would be wood. Oh, this is good. It's still grouped. And let's go up to the top floor, and we'll at least do this stuff. I'll leave his room for now, because what I do there is probably going to depend on how I want that hidden safe to work. And let's get these. That looks good. We must have missed a corner here and there. Yep, corner and that piece and this piece and these pieces. Oh, we missed a lot. Probably the same on the other side. Yep, that. Oh, quite a few. Got those. And what about in behind here? Yep, there's one there. And, oops, I guess it doesn't matter if we click something again. There. Oh, come on. How many of these are there? I feel like maybe I did not get that one over here. I see something I didn't get. And, you know, this is mildly time consuming, but in the end, it does not look too bad. So I'm going to leave this now until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. So let's put a ceiling on here, and I'm going to do the worst kind of cheating, and I'm just going to copy the floor. In fact, I'm going to right now filter out all the entities so that all I can see is the floor. I don't think I have to copy that, but I do have to copy these. And again, we're just going to clone them, move them up, get the entities back in so we can see where this rests, and we'll rest it right on top of there. Done. Ceiling, floor. Now we could load this up and walk around in it. Still a lot more to do. There are still doorways to put in and lights to put in and things like that. But that's not bad for creating a new little area, and I think we will end it there. So this area is now done. We have the place where the player is going to go, and if I don't have time to map any other areas, I think we have a decent sized map already, even if the player just has to start here. This is a nice little playable area we've got for a 4-hour build. So I will leave it there. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy mapping.